they are doing the most. We are uncomfortable with where they are going. We need to slow them down. That's literally it. Now, if we put it into the context of the 5 billion that they said we're going to raise, that's not money in any context. And it's not a conversation, right? But I mean, when we compare it to what Naira is doing, it looks like a lot of money. But in the context of the global reality, 5 billion we shouldn't be talking about that. We should be talking bigger numbers. But anyways, in this context, we're talking about the antitrust, the AI situation. And I mean, I guess we can throw the question to our guest, who is the tech expert here, that, okay, please, can you explain what is AI-enabled search and why is it so important that Microsoft is getting worried?
So I always love that word, expert. It always tickles me a bit. So the way we need to look at it, right, is the whole antitrust thing in technology should be a movie, and the whole search discussion should be a movie. Because if you look at it, a few years ago, Microsoft had the same issues about access to search. So the battle is really about access, right? So Microsoft back in the day had an issue with browser. Which browser should you use to get on the internet? And that was a big battle. It was, Internet Explorer versus Netscape and other ones now. So that battle is long been settled. And the next level of battle now is who is going to be the tool that we use to search the internet. And searching the internet is just really crawling. You're basically going around looking at a number of files, sitting in a number of systems, all over the place to see what you're seeing. The tool you use is what that discussion is sort of about. So how do we bring this now to AI? Now, I think one of the best ways to explain this, or maybe an interesting way to explain this so it's not boring, is that you have to look at AI as a child, right? So Microsoft has a child, Google has a child, and they're now saying, we need to train this child. Which school can we send this child to get its education? And it turns out that Google has the access. Google, in fact, owns the road to the best school that there is, right? And Microsoft will say, no. Google, it can't only be your child you will send to that school. My child also has to get education from that school. So again, it's a battle about access. So let me take this back to the technical side. The way AI works is that you train the AI on the data set you have, on the information you have. And as you know, Google being the largest search engine in the world, right? I won't say universe, because we don't know what's happening on this planet. Maybe there's a better search engine, we're not sure. Being that Google is the largest search engine in the world, it has access to all this data they can use to train its AI, which will give its AI on a fair, seemingly on unfair advantage against other AI large modules. So that's what it's really about. It's about access to the information. So they may start with antitrust and say it's not fair that Google has control of all this space, but I think at the end of the day, they will end up on free, open access to everybody's child to go to the school. So basically, it's by making Google's data a public school as opposed to private school.
This interesting. Go ahead,
brings us to the next question. What are the potential consequences if Google were to lock up the AI-enabled search engine?
So that takes us back to what AI is, right? So AI, artificial intelligence, right? We're very much in the early stages of it. But the way AI works is that it takes all your data, you gather your data in one place. And as I say this, think of Nigeria and see how AI is a problem here and how much work we need to do to catch up, right? So first, you have to have your data. So it has to be digitized. So all this paper we have going around needs to be digitized. Then you have to put this data in something you call a data pool, right? So now you have a data pool where all this data is accessible. Then your AI learning module, the large learning module, needs to be trained against that AI. So just think about it now. The number of our languages that are not digitized, the number of our history that is not digitized, all our documentation that is not digitized, how we need to transfer that to digital. And then from there, AI can be trained. So to answer your question directly is that if Google, let's say for instance, Google wins the case and they say, no, only Google's child, as I explained earlier, AI is the baby, can be trained at this school that Google has access to and control of, then it will be the direct impact will be that Google will be the person who has the AI that has the best training.
Yes.
Right? And which means it will inadvertently give you the best outcomes because AI basically learns how to answer you. So for you to learn how to answer, you also need to learn all the potential mistakes. Like, for instance, I recently went to a seminar when they were talking about the phrase hot dog, right? So when they say hot dog, is it a hot, feverish dog, or is it the food, which is a hot dog, right? And when I now say hot dog sandwich, does the sandwich now become a qualifier to make you know that's food? Or does the sandwich mean that it's two dogs smashed together? Those things that we take for granted, right? Those little things we take for granted are the things that the AI needs to understand, because it's not human. Yeah, it needs to learn every single thing, every single mistake. The fact that there's certain words we type that are bad words on our phone, and when we type it, it gives us the wrong word, and it pisses us every time because we don't mean duck, right?
Yeah.
So AI needs to learn that this guy likes to curse. He's not trying to say a duck, duck you. No, he's trying to say something else. So that is the case that AI needs to learn all the general knowledge, and then ultimately start learning you, as in, what do you want? When Ola types this, what does Ola mean? When Ola asks for ice cream, it's not that she's asking for something else, but also vanilla ice cream. It's a learning process.
All right, before you go on, Oler, I just want to let the listener know we can now start getting messages in on 0809-444-0981 above.
Okay. So do you think AI can be regulated? And any way, what's your approach? I mean, you push the Nigerian Startup Act, right? So you've seen how technology can be put into some form of structure. So what's your take on AI, right? Can it really be regulated, and how?
No, of course it can. Anything that has a process, you can build gates around it, right? So AI learning process is the actual process, right? So the Nigerian pathway to AI is different from the Estonia or the USA pathway to AI. There are different gates along the way where you can say, okay, here, let's make sure we check our data. So for instance, if you look at some of the problems with AI, some of the issues known with AI today is the bias issue, right? So the AI is learning bad things based on the people or the set of information that has been exposed to the AI, right? So you can easily put checks along the way to say, let's check to make sure. So there's a Ghanaian Nigerian, but a young lady who's on Netflix that actually did a show talking about the AI bias and AI color balance, for instance. So if somebody doesn't get that and say that is a problem, then that's how it will go out. So that's already a simple regulation, right? How the data and how much of the data we put into our data pool. So in Nigeria, we need to put regulation in place regulation and policy in place that says everything that is on paper, government-wise, needs to go digital. Or, for instance, what they're doing in those states where they say no more papers, no more checks. Those kind of policies drive the digitalization process.
Yeah.
So there's several positions. Where you can actually introduce AI. Or AI regulation and policy, I should say.
Yeah, I love that. I love the statement you made. Anything that has a process can be gated. I love that.
Can be Bill gated. You can add can be Bill gated.
I love it. I love it.
If you hear him say that, please just remind him that he can send me my check.
Okay. So let's move on, right? So the Minister of Communication, I think we're almost out of time, right? Minister of Communication had 10 things that he's trying to achieve in the next 4 years actually. And one of the things he said was we'll have 50,000 AI industry jobs by 2026, right? And then artificial intelligence will usher a new era of technological and economic transformation. Now, there are lots of people like you understand what is happening, but for most people, what is he talking about? What really is AI? What kind of industry jobs can really pop up? And where can we use AI on? Not just, okay, yes, we can. I can hear you say maybe for governments to get their information digitized, yes, and then know how to call it. I can see that. But for the person that wants to start a career in this obviously budding industry, right? What are the jobs? What are the things that people can do?
So that was an exciting announcement from our honorable minister. It shows that we have some vision, and I believe after vision, the next step is to document the process for execution and actually execute it, which is what is critical. Taking the approach of attracting brains from around the world to come back home and help in different capacities around developing our AI is also brilliant. I mean, recently I was in South Africa for AI conference, and the person who presented about AI, gave the class about AI, took us to his AI lab, was a Nigerian guy, right? So these intelligence, these brains exist around the world, and they're doing amazing things. And I think if they come here, they will help us solve our problem. Now, having said that, our problem is also unique, right? So our problem starts, so, okay, let me pull your question into this answer. So when somebody is sitting and saying AI, is coming, and what we know AI to be is actually intelligence, and it gets more intelligent over time, which is, to some extent, there's some scary aspects to it. There are phases of AI. Right now, we're still in the narrow phase. There's a phase called general intelligence. You can tell I'm already laughing, because every time I think about it or I read about it, I'm like, wait a minute, is this the point where, we all just sit there in the house? We start eating meat pie alone because the AI is doing everything. Go Google general intelligence. By the time of AI, AGI, AI is pretty much very, very smart and does everything for you. But now in these early stages, maybe in the next few years, a bunch of years, I would say, AI will slowly start repeating tasks that are repeatable. Or it starts to infuse into your life certain activities that you won't notice. So I give an example. I noticed this one the other day. If you use Instagram, for instance, and you are putting in a post and you type in there, thank God Jesus loves me, or something like that, or the world is great, what a great day, right? The songs that come will match what you typed. That's already AI.
AI.
Right?
All right.
So that's AI. That's AI. So basically, AI is happening to us, is what I meant to say. And the jobs we must pick are jobs along the path.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, out of time.
It looks like a fine place for us.
It's not long.
AI is going to be an ongoing conversation for us. So definitely we can't finish it in one edition of the show. So we hope to bring you back and let's get this conversation. It's what you call discussion continues right now at this point. But I've got a few messages to throw in from our clients who listen. They are the listener, but they like to be known as the clients. So I've got Benga Akamu here with a message. We do know that our phones learn from our use of the phone, and it brings up words we often use when typing. But can AI not become independent and start doing things beyond human control? Somehow AI gives me deja vu feeling, especially when watching Terminator, and you want to throw in iRobot into that, but let's move on. Let's catch up some more pace. I've got Yinka Bolu here with a message. Yinka Bolu says the AI bias issue is the reason why AI regulation is a bad idea. We almost AI Democrats in the making, but that must be said, we are not afraid that in the next 30 years, we will be all useless. I teach my daughter maths when I'm free. But last week I got home to see her learning from being AI. I felt replaceable on that spot. On that note, so I want to say thank you, especially to our guest this morning, Oswald Guobadia, Managing Partner Digital, for stopping by this morning on Business Express.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good day.
Have a great day, guys. Bye. And that's a wrap on the show this morning. It's Business Express. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa. Good morning. Express brought to you